The Subala Upanishad in simple English, presented by Svayam Prakash Sharma, part 3, the concluding part. This part tells us that the self, the Atma, is the ultimate basis of all the worlds. It also tells us about dissolution of individuality and of the gradual dissolution of all in the Supreme. The Upanishad. Then Rakav asked Brahma, Lord, in what do all these worlds become firmly established? Brahma replied, in the Rasatal worlds. And in what are the Rasatal worlds established as warp and woof? In the Bhur, in the terrestrial worlds. In what are the terrestrial worlds established as warp and woof? In the worlds of Bhuvar, the atmosphere. In what are the worlds of the atmosphere established as warp and woof? In the Suvar, or the heavenly worlds. In what are the heavenly worlds established as warp and woof? In the Meher worlds. In what are the Meher worlds established as warp and woof? In the Janas worlds. In what are the Janas worlds established as warp and woof? In the Tapas worlds. In what are the Tapas worlds established as warp and woof? In the Satya worlds. In what are the Satya worlds established as warp and woof? In the Prajapati worlds. And in what are the Prajapati worlds established as warp and woof? In the Brahma worlds. And in what are the Brahma worlds established as warp and woof? Rakav, all the worlds are established like so many beads as warp and woof in the self, in the Atma, in Brahm. Just as beads are strung in a thread, so too are all objects, so too are all worlds strung in the self. He who knows this, that all these worlds are established in the self, he becomes the self alone. He becomes the Atma himself. This is the doctrine leading to liberation. This is the doctrine of the Ved. This is the doctrine of the Ved. Then Rakav asked, Lord, how does this self, how does this Atma, which is a mass of intelligence, after leaving its seat and moving upwards, how and by what means does it have its exit? Brahma replied, Rakav, in the center of the heart is a red mass of flesh. In this mass is the white lotus called the Deher, which has bloomed like a red lotus, with its petals spread in different directions. In the middle of the white lotus is an ocean. In the middle of this ocean is a sheath. In this sheath there are 4 nadis called the Rama Nadi, the Arama Nadi, the Ichha Nadi and the Apunar Bhava Nadi. These nadis lead one to different worlds. The Rama Nadi leads the one who follows the path of righteousness to the world of righteousness. The Arama Nadi leads the one who follows the path of unrighteousness to the world of unrighteousness. Through the Ichha Nadi, one attains whatever desire one desires. It is through the Apunar Bhava Nadi that one breaks through the sheath. After breaking through the sheath, one breaks through the shell of the skull of the head. After breaking through the skull of the head, one breaks through the earth element. After breaking through the earth element, one breaks through water. After breaking through water, one breaks through light. After breaking through light, one breaks through air. After breaking through air, one breaks through ether. After breaking through ether, one breaks through the mind. After breaking through the mind, one breaks through the subtle elements. After breaking through the subtle elements, one breaks through the Mahat Tattva, the first product of Prakriti, of nature, the principle of intelligence in the individual. After breaking through the Mahat Tattva, one breaks through the unmanifested. After breaking through the unmanifested, one breaks through the imperishable. After breaking through the imperishable, one breaks through death. Then death becomes one with the Supreme. In the Supreme, there is neither existence nor non-existence, nor existence and non-existence both. This is the doctrine leading to liberation. This is the doctrine of the Ved. This is the doctrine of the Ved. From Narayan, food came into being in a raw state. In the Mahasamvartak, in the great dissolution, in the world of Brahma, this food became cooked. This food is again cooked in the world of sun, and then again cooked in the world of again cooked in the sacrifices. If water oozes out of food, or if food becomes stale, then that food should not be eaten. One should only eat that food which is clean, which does not have the defects mentioned above, and which has not been acquired by begging or not got according to a previously arranged plan. One should only eat pure food, since purity of food makes for purity of disposition. One should never beg for food from anyone. One should try to cultivate the characteristics of a child. The characteristics of a child are non-attachment and innocence, in the sense of freedom from the notions of right and wrong, by abstaining from speech, by learning, by not observing the conventions relating to the classes and stages of life. One acquires the state of kaivalya, the state of aloneness described in the Vedas. Prajapati said, after knowing the highest state, the sage should live at the foot of a tree. He should wear a rag as a loincloth. There should be no one to help him. He should be all alone. He should remain in concentration with his desire for the Atma, for the self, with all desires fulfilled, with no desires, with all his desires consumed, and seeing death in so many forms, such as that of an elephant, a lion, a tiger, a mosquito, a mongoose, a snake, a demon, or a wood spirit. He is not at all afraid of them. He should be unmoved like the tree. Even if cut into pieces, he should not get angry. He should not tremble with fear. He should be like a rock, and even if cut into pieces, he should not get angry or tremble with fear. He should be like the sky, and should not get angry or tremble with fear. He should stand by the truth, for truly this truth is the self, this truth is the Atma. Earth is the heart of all smells. Water is the heart of all tastes. Light is the heart of all forms. Air is the heart of all touches. Ether is the heart of all sounds. The unmanifested is the heart of all states of being. Death is the heart of all beings. Death, in fact, becomes one with the radiant Supreme. In the Supreme, there is neither existence nor non-existence, nor both existence or non-existence. This is the doctrine leading to liberation. This is the doctrine of the Ved. This is the doctrine of the Ved. Now we come to food and the eater of food, the cause in which the food is dissolved in involution. Earth is the food and water is the eater of food. Water is the food and light is the eater of food. Light is the food and air is the eater of the food. Air is the food and ether is the eater of the food. Ether is the food and the organs of perception and of action are the eater of the food. The organs of perception and of action are the food, and mind is the eater of the food. Mind is the food and understanding is the eater of the food. Understanding is the food and the unmanifested is the eater of the food. The unmanifested is the food and the imperishable is the eater of the food. The imperishable is the food and death is the eater of the food. Death truly becomes one with the radiant Supreme. Death, the very principle of negation, is absorbed in the Supreme. Only the transcendent self, the transcendent Atma, remains when all things dissolve and are negated. In the Supreme, there is neither existence nor non-existence, nor both existence and non-existence. This is the doctrine leading to liberation. This is the doctrine of the Ved. This is the doctrine of the Ved. Then the sage Rekav asked Brahma, Lord, this self, this Atma, which is a massive intelligence, how and by what means does this self, does this Atma, after moving upward from its seat, burn away its seat? Brahma replied, Rekav, this Atma, this self, after moving upwards, burns all the vital breaths. It burns all the vital airs. It burns the pran breath. It burns the apan breath, the vyan, the udan, the saman, the vairambh, the mukhya, the antaryam, the prabhanjan, the kumar, the sien, the svet, the krishna, and the nag. It then burns the elements earth, water, fire, air, and ether. It burns all the states. It burns the waking state, it burns the dreaming state, it burns the dreamless sleep, and it burns the state of Turiya. It burns this mighty world and the other world. It burns both the visible and the invisible worlds. It burns both virtuous and vicious conduct. After that, it burns the world devoid of luster. It burns the world devoid of limit, devoid of appearance. It burns the Mahat Tattva, the first creative principle. It burns the unmanifested. It burns the imperishable. It burns death. Death becomes one with the radiant Supreme. In the Supreme, there is neither existence nor non-existence, nor both existence and non-existence. This is the doctrine leading to liberation. This is the doctrine of the Ved. This is the doctrine of the Ved. This secret doctrine of the seedless Brahm, owing its origin to Subal, should not be imparted to anyone who has not attained composure of spirit, nor to one who has no children, nor to one who has no disciples, nor to one who has not taken residence for 1 year at nights, nor to one whose family and character are not known. This knowledge should not only not be imparted to such persons, it should not even be mentioned to them in their presence. The subject matter of this shines all the more brightly if it is imparted to the high-souled one whose devotion to the teacher is as profound and as great as it is to the Supreme. This is the doctrine leading to liberation. This is the doctrine of the Ved. This is the doctrine of the Ved. This concludes the Subala Upanishad. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.